Township Board of Trustees regular meeting for Wednesday, July 13th, 2022, 6:30 p.m. Let's all please stand, take up your hats, and pay respect to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Noting of the roll, please.
Ferrari.
Here.
Payne.
Here.
Wright.
Here.
Joel. Golden. Here. Charles.
Here.
Curtis.
Here.
There's a quorum.
Trustee Nold is on the way back from the airport picking up his daughters. He said he would be a few minutes late. Approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Payne. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, hearing none, we'll move on to item 5, approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Charles. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call please.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. And Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Okay, item 6, public comment on items not on the agenda. This is a time the public can speak on items not on the agenda. We give 3 minutes time to talk about anything you'd like to talk about. Tell the board. At the end of the 3 minutes, I'll just let you know your time is up. I ask that if you're talking on the same subject, you can get up in support of your fellow colleague or resident who made the comment rather than reiterating the same thing if we can just move along. So I'll open up the floor to public comment. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Board.
Evening.
My name is Rick Rice, and if you know me, I've been a small businessman in this community for many, many years. And I'm going to be asking regarding the cannabis licensing program. We were supposed to have representation here because of the last minute notice. We couldn't get that, but a letter was sent on Monday. I'm going to read the letter. Hello, Mr. Lowden. I hope you are well. Please be advised that our office represents Production Drive Holdings, LLC, in connection with its medical cannabis retail application, which is currently on its way to be submitted, which has been submitted. It is our understanding that 3 applicants who have submitted on Thursday, 7/7/2022, are being placed on Wednesday's agenda. But if the Township will not add PDH's application to Wednesday's agenda, as you know, there is no requirement that this item be on the agenda to receive a vote at the regularly scheduled public meeting. In addition, there is no requirement or notice that the applications be received after 7/7. The first day the applications could be submitted would not be treated as a second round applicant. I understand that cannabis licensing is an anonymous position and thus desires to simply get it over with is understandable. That said, I respectfully ask the Township to give PDH the same opportunity as other pending applicants that include PDH at the 7/13 meeting, which is tonight. There were a lot of questions by our people and my attorneys to me saying what happens if there are 2 applicants for the same zone, which there are currently now, since our application has been accepted by this board. And there was actually no time frame on when this all had to be submitted. So I'd like to ask the board what your pleasure is on this.
The board won't answer questions.
Okay, and my next part of that comment is we are going for a public use interview next week. We'll be on looking for that. I guess my attorneys will be in touch, and we'll have to figure out a way to find out what's going to happen on this, unless you're going to present that later in the program tonight. Thank you.
Any other members of the public like to speak on items that aren't on the agenda? Seeing none, move on to item number 7, presentation, recognition of election workers. Curtis?
Yes, the clerk's department felt with the election season coming on that it would just be proper to give some recognition to those that have served our community doing elections for several years. So we came up with a list of those that have served or are serving Oxford Township as election inspectors for 10 years or more for the township. So we wanted to show our appreciation for that and give them some recognition, because when you're an election inspector, many of you don't know what goes on, but they spend upwards of 15 or more hours at a polling booth to take applications, give you your ballot, make sure things are running smoothly. So it's just a small token that we'd like to recognize those people that have patronized Oxford Township's elections and give them some sort of recognition. So this is a certificate of appreciation that we created, and I'd like to read it. And when I'm finished, I'll come out front and I'll call your name if you're present, and we will give you your certificate of appreciation. The Charter Township of Oxford wishes to express sincere gratitude for election workers for their years of dedicated service as an election inspector. Election day is the backbone of our representative democracy. Because of your efforts, Oxford Township's primary, general, and special elections always run smoothly and efficiently. Because of your commitment, our election process is transparent, our polling places are secure, and voter privacy is protected. Because of your hard work, every single ballot is counted, and the people's voice is heard loud and clear. You are helpful, polite, trustworthy, cooperative, selfless, and industrious. You are absolutely essential to our ensuring our legacy of freedom endures. Thank you so much, Charter Township of Oxford. So I'm going to come down now and present the certificates of those that are present, and if you're not present, I'm still going to read the names off. I'm going to start off, these are alphabetical order with those that have served 10 years or more in Oxford Township and village, of course, for the elections. First up is Rose Bama. Rose served as an election inspector for 14 years for Oxford Township. Rose. Okay, Rose is here. Moving on, Donna Bizzardi. She served 10 years as an election inspector for Oxford Township and Village. Next up is Cindy Duvall. If you're here, Cindy, come on up. If not, she also served for 10 years as an election inspector. Donna Kirby. All right, Donna's not here, but she served for 12 years as an election inspector. Kathy Lang. Kathy Lang, 13 years as an election inspector. Jim McGinnis, 10 years as an election inspector. Margie McGinnis, 10 years as an election inspector. And they are still serving. Jim and Margie are still serving as election inspectors, so we appreciate that. Sharon Schradlin. Sharon here. Sharon, come on up. Ellen Schultz. Ellen here. Okay, she served 10 years as an election inspector for the Oxford Township. Robert Turner, 12 years, election inspector. Okay, moving on to those with 15 plus years. Robert Collins, 22, 2019. Next up, Maureen Helmuth. Maureen here. Okay, Maureen served, is still serving 17 years and still going. Next up, Morris Lang. Morris, are you here? 15 years, and he's still serving. Ronald Tonko. Ronald served for 18 years as election inspector from 2002 to 2020. Thanks, Robert. Next up, Carla Lambertson. Carla. Okay, our longest waiting election worker is still serving from 1996 to the present, Mary Heigl, 25 plus years. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. And if anybody's interested in being an election inspector, you can fill an application out. We're happy to take it. This is for one of the precincts.
Thank you all very much. I know Trustee Charles had the opportunity to watch all of the inspection equipment get inspected, and brought a troop of people in to witness that, and what did you find out?
I found out that it was very efficient and transparent, is our current word in society, process, and people were satisfied that things worked very well.
Thank you, Trustee Charles. Thank you, Clerk Greg. Thank you, all the inspectors. Item number 8, I don't know, Raina is not here yet. There she is. I didn't see her. Hi, Raina Emmons. Raina is our auditor of our finances here in the Charter Township of Oxford, and she tonight is presenting us with an audited financial report. Raina, take it from here.
Thank you, Supervisor Curtis. Good evening to the Township Board. Nice to see everyone this evening. We don't take for granted anymore, right, being in person, so it's nice to be here. This evening I have a very good report for you. Once again, the Charter Township of Oxford has received an unmodified audit opinion, which is the highest level of audit opinion possible, on your audit financial statements for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2021. Starting off with some highlights, this year the township added $1.2 million to the general fund balance. That's kind of a banner year. That's not a typical. But and last year you added $540,000 to the ending fund balance. Property taxes increased, not of course you didn't raise the millage rate. That's all taxable value increase. Increased 3.7%. So that we're always happy to see that. That means everyone's property values are up. 3.7 is the healthy increase. The year before, it was 4%. So very similar to the year before. Actually, it's very difficult to do to keep your property tax values increasing at about the same rate from year to year. There seems to be fluctuation for a variety of reasons every year. So it was nice to see 2 consecutive years like that. State shared revenue, which was flat the year before, increased about 10% this year. That, of course, is the distribution from the state based on the sales tax and income tax that they've collected at the state and distribute down to the local units. The township, of course, will see an increase in the subsequent year, fiscal year 22. The state adjusted your distributions based on the 2020 census. So finally they got to that. But that is part of the formula that you receive state share revenue on. And of course, the township did have a population increase, so you did see a they did have a makeup adjustment. I believe you received that probably late April. The general fund transfers out this year included $300,000 to the fire fund to make extra pension contribution above and beyond what was required. And we'll talk about the pension plan in just a minute. And $199,000 to the building and site fund. The operating expenses in the fire department increased this year. A significant part of that was the extra MERS contribution that's reflected in the fire department. And also they did receive state grant revenue of $164,000 toward equipment this year. The water and sewer fund, I like to tell you how you did on the tap fees, the connection fees from year to year, because that directly reflects based on the development within the township. That was up this year, $480,000 over the prior year, so a nice jump. The year before they actually decreased. So so development has picked up evidently. The water fund paid down $475,000 in principal debt this year, and also an additional $115,000 in the principal on the Oklahoma-Macomb Interceptor debt. Moving on to the defined benefit pension plan, there was a net decrease in your net pension liability this year of $162,000. And it reflects a $651,000 net investment gain in the pension trust fund. The total current net pension liability is $1.514 million. You ended up 79% funded, which is an increase. The year before was 74% funded, and that is a direct relation to these extra contributions that the township has made a very conscious decision as you are able to do them. The year before was $112,000 extra. This year we were able to bump it up a little more even, but that is a direct correlation to it directly hits the bottom line in your funded percentages. In the state, there's so many communities struggling to get to 60%, so 79% funded is something to be proud of, and I hope that continues upward. And of course, that depends on the stock market at year end as well. So with that, if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Yes, Curtis. Go ahead. Click right.
Yeah, just on the defined benefit plan, is something that you can assist us with during our budget hearings, how much you feel we should be allocated, if any, toward the retirement plan for the fire department? Because 79%, usually 80% is the threshold, which it'll self-fund itself in future years to balance it out. So I would
We don't take that for granted anymore because of the fluctuation. I'd be happy to discuss it. There's so many things right now that impact that percentage rate. It's like I said, we're really happy to see that from 74 to 79, but 80% isn't the rule anymore. There are many things that impact that now. So I'd be happy to.
Yes, Trustee Charles.
On the same defined benefit note there, I've read some articles, and maybe this isn't the time to bring it up, but there's some talk about some help from the federal government to help municipalities increase their pensions.
I can answer that question.
Far away.
They have grant funds available to underfunded pension funds, but with that comes stipulations of no raises, no expenditures outside of the department, and it comes with a lot of caveats that would hinder our department. But you have to have a threshold, I believe it's 60% funded.
60% plus all those restrictions.
Right. Yes, sir. Any other questions? Seeing none?
I move to receive and file the Charter Township of Oxford audited financial report for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2021, as presented.
Okay, I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Charles. Are there any questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Trustee Payne.
Yes.
And Trustee Colvin.
Okay, item number 9, first reading of the zoning ordinance 67 029 and zoning map amendments. Our representative, John Nold from the Planning Commission, is not here tonight, but I can talk briefly on them. And since they are first reading, any questions we can have addressed by the second reading. Clearly what happened, the zoning map hasn't been updated in several years. The last person that signed it was Clara Sanderson. So it goes back 20-some years. There were coloring mistakes, I call them. For example, we had zoning R1, and it colored in an area of C2 property by mistake. That piece of property was the Chase Bank on the corner of Drainer and M24. It's been C2 for 50-some years, and whoever colored the map drew a red line down and then made it R1. So these are corrections that were made in the zoning map. In the ordinance map, we clarify PUD developments, both just residential PUD developments and some ordinances that needed clarification. In the board packet, you each have all of the red line copy, and I believe it's like 400 pages. So if there are any questions, board members, I take them from you right now. Seeing none,
I move to set a second reading and possible adoption of amendments to the Charter Township of Oxford zoning ordinance 67A to be considered at the Charter Township of Oxford Board of Trustees August 10th, 2022 regular meeting.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
And Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Okay, the fire department has nothing on the agenda tonight. And item number 11, Sharp Engineering Report. In your packet, you should have received, I'm sorry, it's not in your packet. You should have received an email yesterday, July 12th, with all the updates going on in the township. Is there any questions on that email? Okay, with that, we'll just move on. Okay, item 12, unfinished business, planning commissioner appointment. There currently is a vacancy on the Oxford County Planning Commission, Oxford Township Planning Commission. It's my job to recommend to this board a person to fill the vacancy, and I was very fortunate to find Justin Ballard to fill this vacancy. Justin Ballard is currently on the Village Planning Commission, and I believe the chairperson of it, Justin. And I'd like, I have attached an email expressing his desire. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I move to appoint Justin Ballard to fill the vacancy on the Charter Township of Oxford Planning Commission, effective July 13th, 2022, with a term expiring December 31st, 2024.
I will second that.
Motion by Supervisor Curtis, second by Treasurer Ferrari. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Justin, you'll be sworn in tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and your first planning commission meeting is tomorrow night at 7. Your children appreciated all that paper I dropped off. I didn't. I had somebody do it. Thank you. Okay, item 13, new business. 13A, BS&A permitting software purchase. Our building official, Tim London, you want to come up and explain what we'd like to do?
I propose to purchase upgrade software from BSNA to allow online permitting, so contractors can come instead of having to come into the office by a certain time of day when they're out there working somewhere else. They can apply online in the evening hours. Benefits from that would be possibly, like I said, it would be a benefit to the community. It'd be possibly less paper on our part. The purchasing of it is a little over $10,000. we already have point and pay where we pay online for the treasury taxes and licensing and stuff like that. So that's my proposal is we would
If I can
purchase
help
that.
just a little bit. This brings us into compliance, following the ordinances and laws. It also allows developers easier access to inspection lines, and it does offer a cost savings. So, any questions? Yes, Trustee Charles.
Just make sure it's, the benefit is, well, online, but then specifically it's updating some issues. I think
Yeah, we have some antiquated systems that we're trying to move away from, and in order to do that, this software would bring us into better compliance.
Yeah, BSNA will come in and actually set everything up for us, train everybody on it. Many other communities already currently use that system. And a little bit less foot traffic into the building sometimes, but it doesn't decrease the amount of work in the building department. But
We can't send any money there now. Just kidding.
Trustee Payne, you had a question?
No, this looks like a good program. I think that this is wonderful. I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
I move to approve the June 29th, 2022 proposal from BSNA Software to purchase BSNA Online Community Development Software at a cost not to exceed $10,475, and to approve the future annual service fees. Authorize Supervisor Jack Curtis to sign the proposal on behalf of the Charter Township of Oxford. This $10,475 amount and future annual service fees to be expensed of Building Permit Fund, account number 249-289-970.003, computer programming.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Clerk Wright. Are there any questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Colvin. Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. And Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Okay, item 11B, medical marijuana license application, Frequency Wellness LLC. What I want to do is I want to read a motion after Clerk Wright and I have gone through the applications that we have to clarify what we've got. And then I'll board for any questions we have. I make a motion to approve issuance of a medical marijuana facility license for Provisioning Center to applicant Greg Yatuma, Frequency Wellness LLC, to be located at 280 North Washington Street, Oxford, Michigan, 48371, based upon the following considerations. A, the information provided and associated inspections and investigation reports prepared as part of this process are satisfactory to the township. B, the proposed facility will benefit the township by providing a new building on a vacant parcel of land that will fit the surrounding area and look. Item C, the secondary effects of the proposed facility will not negatively affect the neighborhood properties owners because it has been shown that traffic studies are not required. All engineering, security, storage, inventory management, and environmental needs will be met. D, the construction of the proposed facility is a new build and will revitalize unused, underutilized, and economically distressed property. D1, the amount of capital investment for the proposed facility is $1,560,000. E, the proposed location of the facility has been vacant in excess of 12 months. F, the proposed location of the facility will not replace an active or existing business. Item G, the applicant has a history of 0 years doing business in the township. Item H, the applicant has over 6 years of experience in operating a facility like this one proposed. To wit, live in Ferndale and Frequency Wellness in Bangor, Michigan. I, the applicant has general business management experience. He's the owner of Oxford Business Park in Orion Township His team has provided over $40 million in investment and created hundreds of jobs. J, the applicant business reputation is excellent in surrounding communities as vouched for by community leaders, suppliers, and creditors. Item K, the applicant has made an application for special land use, which is pending with the township, and the applicant's use of this license is contingent upon the applicant receiving special land use approval. Item L, the applicant has demonstrated business probity, financial ability, experience, responsibility, and means to operate a facility for each of those persons directly or indirectly controlling the applicant. M, the applicant has demonstrated financial ability to purchase and maintain adequate insurance required for the proposed facility by showing its bank statements and banking verification. The applicant's, item N, the applicant's sources and total amount of capitalization are adequate to operate and maintain the proposed facility. Applicant has shown available funds in the amount of $5 million in liquid assets in J.P. Morgan Bank. Item O, the applicant has not been indicted for, charged with, pled guilty to, nor convicted of any relevant criminal offenses. The applicant likewise has not been involved in a felony charge involving the distribution of marijuana to a minor. Item P, the applicant has not filed for or had filed against it bankruptcy within the last 7 years. The applicant Q, the applicant has not been delinquent for 1 or more years in any payment of taxes required under federal, state, or local law, which resulted in the applicant being served with a complaint or other notice filed by any public body. Item R, the applicant has demonstrated a history of compliance with township ordinance and, to the extent applicable, those of other jurisdictions in which the applicant has operated. Item S, the applicant is not currently a defendant in litigation involving its business practices. And item T, for the foregoing reasons, the applicant has demonstrated that its proposed facility will not adversely affect the public's health, safety, or welfare. Based upon the foregoing, I recommend to Township Clerk to issue the medical marijuana provisioning license.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Supervisor Curtis. I have a second by Trustee Payne. Okay, board members, any questions?
It's all in our packet. It's all spelled out.
Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin. Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
No.
Clerk Wright, yes. And Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Item 13C. Item 13C is medical marijuana license application, Lifted Investments 3 LLC. Board members, I have a motion to read explaining all of the foregoing. I make a motion to approve issuance of a medical marijuana facility license for a provisioning center to applicant Tom DiAugustino, Lifted Investments 3 LLC, located at 653 South Lapeer Road, Oxford, Michigan 48371, based upon the following considerations. A, the information provided and associated inspection and investigation reports prepared as part of the process are satisfactory to the township. B, the proposed facility will benefit the township by renovating a blighted and outdated vacant facility on our main corridor. C, the secondary effects of the proposed facility will not negatively affect the neighboring property owners because no traffic study is needed. Parking will be moved to the back of the building. Landscaping will replace the current parking lot, and the building footprint will be reduced. Item D, the construction of the proposed facility is a renovation and will revitalize unused or underutilized and economically distressed properties. Number one, the amount of capital investment for the proposed facility is significant in the amount of $500,000 to approximately $1 million. The proposed location of the facility has been vacant in excess of 12 months. F, the proposed location of the facility will not replace an active or existing business. Item G, the applicant has a history of 0 years in doing business with the township. Item H, the applicant has approximately 6 years of experience in operating a facility like the one proposed, to wit, a 50,000 square foot cultivation and processing operation in Orion Township. Item I, the applicant has general business management experience, to wit, marijuana cultivation, early childhood education facilities, and automotive dealerships. Item J, the applicant business reputation is stellar, based on calls to references and surrounding community leaders. K, the applicant has made an application for a special land use, which is pending with the township, and the applicant's use of this license is contingent upon the applicant receiving special land use approval. Item L, the applicant has demonstrated business probity, financial ability, experience, responsibility, and means to operate, maintain a facility for each of the persons directly or indirectly controlled by the applicant. M, the applicant has demonstrated the financial ability to purchase and maintain adequate insurance required for the proposed facility by showing they certify under oath they will provide Oxford Township proof of premises liability and casualty insurance not later than 60 calendar days after the state operating license is issued. Item N, the applicant sources and the amount of capitalization are adequate to operate and maintain the proposed facility. Applicant has shown available funds in the amount of $1 million. Item O, the applicant has not been indicted for, charged with, pled guilty to, nor convicted of any relevant criminal offense. The applicant likewise has not been involved in a felony charge involving the distribution of marijuana to a minor. Item P, the applicant has not filed for or had filed against it bankruptcy within the last 7 years. Item Q, the applicant has not been delinquent for 1 or more years in any payment of taxes required under federal, state, or local law, which resulted in the applicant being served with a complaint or other notice filed by any public body. Item R, the applicant has demonstrated a history of compliance with township ordinance and, to extent applicable, those of other jurisdictions in which the applicant has operated. Item S, the applicant is not currently a defendant in litigation involving its business practices. Item T, the applicant has demonstrated that its proposed facility will not adversely affect the public's health, safety, and welfare, to wit, renovation of a blighted and outdated facility in the township. Based on the foregoing, I recommend the township clerk to issue the medical marijuana provisioning license.
Second.
I have a motion by Supervisor Curtis, a second by Trustee Payne. Are there any questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Clerk Wright. Yes. Treasurer Ferrari.
No.
Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin. Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Trustee Noel is here.
We got trustee Noel here too.
Oh, I see. Okay. Trustee Noel.
Trustee Noel.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry.
Everybody arrived safely?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Item 11D, medical marijuana license application, Curative LLC. I'll read the motion with the findings. Motion to approve the license. I make a motion to approve issuance of a medical marijuana facility license for a provisioning center to applicant Joseph Lordhammer Curative LLC to be located at 1225 South Lapeer Road, Oxford, Michigan, 48371, based upon the following considerations. A, the information provided and associated inspections and investigation reports prepared as part of the process are satisfactory to the township. Item B, the proposed facility will benefit the township by occupying an otherwise vacant parcel of property with a brand new building, increase tax revenue for Oxford Township, and have minimal negative impact on neighboring properties. Item C, the secondary effects of the proposed facility will not negatively affect the neighboring property owners because retail business will be conducted totally within the proposed provisioning center facility. There will be minimum impact on traffic flow, and engineering, environmental, and safety requirements of the proposed facility location must be in compliance with state and local regulations. D, the construction of the proposed facility is a new build and will revitalize unused, underutilized, and economically distressed property. Number one, the amount of capital investment for the proposed facility is significant in the amount of $1,690,000. E, the proposed location of the facility has been vacant in excess of 12 months. Item F, the proposed location of the facility will not replace an existing active business. Item G, the applicant has 0 years of doing business in the township. Item H, the applicant has several years of experience in operating a facility like the one proposed, being an owner of a cannabis company involved in grow operations, productions, and retail of cannabis products, previous experience as manager of a cannabis facility, and currently leading the construction of a 60-acre grow facility. Item I, the applicant has general business management experience as manager of a cannabis facility. Item J, the applicant business reputation is excellent based on the other successful cannabis retail locations of which the applicant has participated. Item K, the applicant has made an application for special land use, which is pending with the township, and the applicant's use of this license is contingent upon the applicant receiving the special land use approval. Item L, the applicant has demonstrated business probity, financial ability, experience, responsibility, and means to operate and maintain a facility for each of those persons directly or indirectly controlling the applicant. Item M, the applicant has demonstrated the financial ability to purchase and maintain adequate insurance required for the proposed facility by showing they certify under oath they will provide Oxford Township proof of premises liability and casualty insurance not later than 60 calendar days after the state operating license is issued. Excuse me. Item N, the applicant's source and total amount of capitalization are adequate to operate and maintain the proposed facility. Applicant has shown available funds in the amount of $3 million in cash on deposit in Citizens State Bank. Item O, the applicant has not been indicted for, charged with, pled guilty to, nor been convicted of any relevant criminal offense. The applicant likewise has not been involved in a felony charge involving distribution of marijuana to a minor. Item P, the applicant has not filed for or had filed against it bankruptcy within the last 7 years. Item Q, the applicant has not been delinquent for 1 or more years in any payment of taxes required under federal, state, or local law which resulted in the applicant being served with a complaint or other notice filed by any public body. Item R, the applicant has demonstrated a history of compliance with township ordinances and, to the extent applicable, those of other jurisdictions in which the applicant operated. Item S, the applicant is not currently a defendant in litigation involving business practices. Item T, the applicant has demonstrated that a proposed facility will not adversely affect the public's health, safety, or welfare by providing one of the newest facilities in Oxford community and strong community relations. Based on the foregoing, I recommend to the township clerk to issue the medical marijuana provisioning license. Second. I have a motion by Supervisor Curtis. I have a second by two people. Who is first?
Trustee Payne.
Trustee Payne. Our board members, are there any questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Colvin. Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Trustee Noel.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
No.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Clerk Wright. Yes. Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Okay, that's that. 13E, AAA traffic grant. CJ Carnacchio, our grants and communication manager. And Lieutenant Patterson is here. I saw him. He stepped up for a phone call.
Oh, no problem.
Go ahead.
Board members, I'm pleased to announce that on June 23rd, Oxford Township was awarded a traffic safety grant from AAA. The grant will cover 50% of the $11,327 cost for radar speed trailer to be used by the Oakland County Sheriff's Oxford Township substation. I researched and I wrote the grant proposal and submitted it back in March. This is our third time applying for the AAA grant, and we got it, so it goes to show that persistence pays off. The information concerning the trailer is all in your packet. I'm asking the Board of Trustees to do two things tonight. One, approve using $5,663.50 from the police fund balance to cover the township's portion of the radar speed trailer. And two, authorize the sheriff's substation's command staff to purchase the device from Stalker Radar / Applied Concepts Incorporated.
I'll make a motion to approve utilizing $5,663.50 from Fund 207, the police fund balance, to pay for the township's portion of the radar speed trailers cost, and also authorize the sheriff's substation command staff to purchase a device from Stalker Radar Applied Concepts Inc.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Payne. Are there any questions? Roll call.
Trustee Noel.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Clerk Wright. Yes. Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
And Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Thank you very much, board members. And
Thank
just
you, CJ, for the wonderful work on grants. What are we up to this year?
I knew you were going to ask that. So far this year, I've got received for the township $249,713 in grants and donations. And these grants and donations have been for the township, the Parks and Rec Department, the Fire Department, and the Sheriff's Department. So spread it out nicely.
Thank you very much and good work. Okay, board members, 13F, Northern Pump and Well Agreement. In front of you, Northern Pump and Well Company has performed the wellhead protection monitoring services for Oxford Township since 2013. The agreement expired on June 13th, 2022, and attached is a 3-year agreement for consideration of approval. Are there any questions?
I move to approve the independent contractor agreement for environmental technical support and laboratory services between Oxford Charter Township and Northern Pump and Well Company, commencing June 13th, 2022, expiring June 13th, 2025, total amount of $21,000, and invoice at an annual cost of $7,000. Supervisor Jack Curtis is authorized to sign the agreement on behalf of the Charter Township of Oxford. This $21,000 amount is to be expensed to account 101-447-821.007, engineering fees, wellhead protection.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Payne. Are there any questions? Hearing none, seeing none. Roll call, please.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Trustee Noel.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes, and Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Item 13G, safety path maintenance. Treasurer Ferrari.
Board members of the Safety Path Committee met, and we had some issues with some maintenance issues going along our safety path system. So we're trying to get a authorization for request for proposals to provide some landscaping maintenance to pretty much be in compliance with our ordinance. I move to authorize the Safety Path Committee to create and solicit request for proposal for bids to provide landscape maintenance on the Oxford Township Safety Path system, include only the existing bituminous and concrete safety paths, include trimming and removal of any overhanging brush and tree limbs up to 8.5 feet hanging over the safety path, and provide the request for proposals, bids for consideration or approval at a future meeting of the Oxford Township Board of Trustees.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Payne. Are there any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 14, items removed from consent agenda. We had none. Item 15, one more opportunity for public comment on items not on the agenda. Any questions, comments from the audience? We can't answer any questions, but you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none. Item 16, Board of Trustee comments. Tonight, I want to start with Trustee Colvin.
We thank all the election workers. We appreciate your service. Tell CJ, great job on getting grants, getting out of the room. So, and thank everyone for their hard work.
Okay. Trustee Payne.
I just want to thank the office staff for putting this medical marijuana package, all the packages together so neatly that we could follow it very easily. It just clarified everything for us very nicely. So I appreciate that very much. And that's it.
Thank you. Trustee Noel. No comment. Thank you. Treasurer Ferrari.
No comments, thank you.
Trustee Charles.
Just one thing to bring the board up to speed on. I was the delegate to SEMCOG, the meeting we had June 24th at the 11 Hall at Dearborn, went from 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock. I won't give you the full breakdown, just a couple of headlines from that interesting meeting. 2 points in general. One is the discussion on economics, that the automobile industry is still dominant in the state of Michigan, that 1 million people out of the population, around 10 million, are still involved with the automobile industry. And the major topic was the impact or the image that our state has outside of our state for having too much partisan bickering. We had 3 panel members speak. Maureen Krause, the president of Detroit Regional Partnership, John Ricolta, who, if you follow the industry and construction industry, maybe John Noel will know this, was the chairman of Waldridge, and he was also the former ambassador to the United Arab Emirates, and then Glenn Stevens. The 3 of them were talking about how challenging it is to have new industry come to our state because there's a image problem with a lot of partisan bickering. Especially Mr. Ricolta was saying for him as a developer, that's what he does. He develops major projects. And Supervisor Curtis, I know with your experience at General Motors, you can probably attest to that. But he said that's a big problem we have, is the image of too much partisan bickering that stops people from coming to our state. And that was a big chunk of our meeting, that theme. Last item, by the way, our colleague from down south, Chris Barnett, the chairperson of SEMCOG, and Chris did a wonderful job as chairperson. See him, you can compliment him. There you have it.
Clerk Wright.
Just want to let everybody know that second is the election, and if you want to vote absentee, you can vote that by mail up to 14 days before the election. If you want to absentee ballot, you have to request that in the office after that time, in order to register to vote. So definitely exercise your right, and hopefully you'll make it count. And that's my comments. Thank you.
Okay. I have one comment. I've teamed up with Supervisor Barnett from Orion Township and his connections through SEMCOG and some of his lobbyists that they have in Lansing. You know, their investment in the Orion plant is $4 billion. They have a very active community, and demographics are changing in our area. He met with me. We went full force at the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services again, and we are still seeking the certificate of need for a hospital in Oxford. We have a very strong case. We have very big ears listening. We're hitting all the right words. We're being guided by the marketing firm of Chris Barnett's in Orion Township. And in September, we're presenting them the list of why it was immature, premature, and totally unwittingly changed the methodology for hospital certification allowances in the state of Michigan. So we are still on it. We're still pounding forward for a hospital in our area. It was noted that within a 10-mile radius of Oxford, there's 185,000 residents. And in St. Louis, in that same 185,000 circle of residents, they have 35 hospitals. The difference is St. Louis does not have a certificate of need requirement for hospitals. So they have our ear. They're getting our information. Chief Pete's formulated a bunch of it. We've jumped on them with it, and we're continuing to move faster. My suggestion is, as this is an election year, a lot of our candidates are focused on getting reelected and not the needs of the people to get a hospital in Oxford. So contact your local state legislature, senators, everybody you can, asking and requiring the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services to open their ears up and their eyes and look at the methodology for requiring hospitals in certain areas. Other than that, item 17,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Payne. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, I better not hear that. Thank you.